Okay, great. So we're finally back. Thanks for being patient with our technical issues. And this is TaikaBox from Oulu Theatre, where we will be having a wonderful week of Oulu Dance Hack 2022. And sorry again for the technical things that we were experiencing, but thank you for being with us. And we just had a sharing of an amazing improv of dance artists and musicians who were researching how tech and dance can be combined together through an intense creative research and trying new things from new angles. So here we got the crew led by Tanja Råman, the co-founder of TaikaBox and dance artist and choreographer. And here we have an amazing team of artists and technology specialists from around the globe. So I'm going to be introducing everybody and then we're going to have a quick chat. And there is a wonderful sound coming in.
Tiedoksi esitystoimintaan osallistuva tekninen henkilöstö valitsee ylänarviossa neuvottelukunnan jäsenen tai jäsenet 5 minuutin kuluttua, että sinne voisi kokoontua.
Here in Oulu Theatre, it's like a combination of the traditional and the marginal. And we just experienced one of the examples. The theatre has a very, very tough security system, and it has those airport-style announcements for some reason. And we might be reflecting on that as well, or might be not. But anyways, we got a lot to share today. And I'm going to introduce you the team, the amazing team we're lucky to have this year in Oulu Dance Hack. Then we're going to have a quick chat, and please feel free to drop your questions in YouTube or in TaikaBox social media. So I have been lucky to introduce Tanja Råman, who made a fantastic effort to make this Oulu Dance Hack happen. Oulu Dance Hack is TaikaBox annual cultural event that brings together technology and art to kickstart the future of performance through an intense creative research and trying new things from new angles. And it's the 6th Oulu Dance Hack, and the last but one was cancelled because of the corona, and the last dance hack of the last year was held in conditions that were really, really stressful, and the main technology was connecting through borders and distances. So this dance hack, the fact that it happened, it's really kind of miraculous, and we all feel quite lucky. So thanks, Tanja. Then we have an amazing crew of artists, and I would start with Sonjis Laine, Helsinki-based dance artist and anthropologist who joined us and who traveled from Helsinki to Oulu and who has been spending this amazing week with us, who has created an amazing costume together with Fab Lab Oulu of the Oulun Yliopisto, University of Oulu, using some cutting-edge technology. Then we got Milla Toppi, Milla together with Tomek. They are experienced dance hackers, and actually the Oulu Dance Hack event, which happened in 2018, inspired Milla and Tomek to come back to Oulu because they were spending years and years in Berlin. So finally they're back home. Then we got Damien Brun. Damien comes from France, and he has enriched this Oulu Dance Hack with an amazing technology which is called a Väriwig. Väriwig is a linguistical mixture to describe an interactive wig which reacts to the movement, which is really interactive towards the dance. And Damien is here with us, joining us from Rovaniemi. He came here to Oulu from University of Lapland, and he has been testing the wigs on dance artists, and it has been quite fruitful so far, hasn't it? Yeah, then we got Christoph. Christoph is also a veteran of Oulu Dance Hack. Christoph is a creative producer in Europe, Central Europe Dance Theatre, and he was with us on last year's Dance Hack, and he managed to, through all of the corona limitations, he managed to get to us physically, and he even danced. Yeah, although he's a producer. But he danced beautifully together with Isadora software and produced some amazing images, and also tested the very weeks by Damien. Right. Then we got Jussi Alaraasakka, who is an Oulu-based sound artist and musician who has been providing amazing impros with dance artists. And then we got Tomek, and we already spoke about Tomek. Tomek moved to Oulu with Milla after the Oulu Dance Hack 2018, and Tomek is a coder with a background of maths and physics, and he has been enriching Isadora options for all of the artists and technology specialists that are here with us. Then we got John. John is the co-founder of TaikaBox, visual artist and DJ, and John has been providing everything with his dance hack. And also John has been operating the robot dog, Bisgi. Yeah, and it has been quite amazing. Then we've got Matthew. Matthew represents Kulttuurivoimala Culture Power Station RU, and Kulttuurivoimala are our long-term partners and friends that have been specializing in community-based cultural practices and coverage of marginal independent events in culture sphere. And so he's going to be giving us some feedback because he's been the lucky audience. Then we got Jussi Tuohino. Yeah, Jussi has been enriching this Oulu Dance Hack with some nice experimental sounds and the knowledge of using Mimo gloves, the technology we were lucky to have during this Oulu Dance Hack. Jussi comes from Oulun ammattikorkeakoulu, the Oulu University of Applied Sciences, and he has been telling us how to use special technologies and create sounds through movement, and he has created ones as well. And of course, Yunjia. Yunjia has been creating amazing sounds through her beautiful voice and through her guitar skills. She's a composer and musician based in Helsinki. She moved to Finland in 2020. And she's finding her artistic way in Finland, and we're very, very lucky to have her. She's going to the cultural residency in E next week, and we wish her luck. Yeah. Okay, so Matti, you. Matti, we're very lucky to have Matti because Matti is an experienced dance artist, and he's also started experiencing with electronic music, and he's building his own synthesizer and experimenting with sounds, and they're giving a lot of emotion in both dance scene and the electronic music scene. So thank you for being with us. Okay, so the first, of course, Stephanie. I'm sorry. Stephanie's here, the beautiful part of this dance hack. Many artists did not have a chance to travel to Oulu physically because of the corona-related restrictions. So Stephanie was luckily able to join us online, and she has been with us throughout this week. And here she is, and I hope my colleagues will show you her face soon. She has been mainly represented through the image in the laptop, which Tanja holds all the time when she doesn't dance. So Tanja is kind of like having Stephanie inside. So thank you, Stephanie, for being inside of our team, literally. Yeah, Stephanie is a media artist and choreographer, and she has been enriching our dance hack this week with amazing visuals and great feedbacks. And the first question would be, what was the most challenging? What was something that made you really happy during this dance hack? I mean, it was quite tricky. It was the 6th dance hack in TaikaBox history the third dance hack to be held in Corona, considering the fact that the first dance hack in Corona era was to be cancelled because of the restrictions. So it really was a lot. It was a lot of effort to connect and to create and to be meaningful. So what was something in this week that made you happy? What was something that was most challenging? Apart from waking up every morning at 8.
Can I just say, as a producer of this event, for me, during the week, that I did not find a challenge we could not take on. It was before the preparations, that was like the challenge. Are we gonna get there? How everything is gonna work out? How many plans we still need to do before we get there, and so on. So it has been a journey to the beginning of this week, and then it has been a journey through this week. But I absolutely thoroughly enjoyed having such variety of creative people around me, working with me, all together in the same space. Unbelievable. It feels amazing.
Yeah, it does. And speaking of unbelievable, amazing people, there are two guys here who are not in the picture, but whom we would very much welcome to be in the picture. Although no pressure, guys. So these are two guys from FabLab Oulu of the Oulun yliopisto, the University of Oulu, and they have enriched this Oulu Dance Hack with 3D printer and laser cutting technologies, and just the very feeling that we can do anything through 3D printing, and we did. All the costumes that I used today on the sharing are made through 3D printer and made after the inspiration by you guys. So thank you. Thank you. So, and you will be receiving the first questions then, since you were not here in time, sorry. So what was the favorite thing about this week? Something that drove you emotionally? And what was the most challenging?
Well, for me, it's a totally world, because we are used to work mainly in research field and very technological stuff. But this gave me the opportunity to see that there are a lot of world that we can explore, and a lot of different activities and a lot of different usage of the process that we have in our premises. And I still think that there is a lot of things that we can do together. So it's a completely new world for me that I would like to continue exploring.
Oh, great, thank you. Nice to hear. How about you, Lev?
We always claim that digital fabrication is really useful for artists.
You might want to get closer to the
Okay.
microphone. I'm sorry for being annoying.
I'll just speak louder.
Okay.
And now we finally got a chance to collaborate with actual artists, and it feels amazing. You have so many creative ideas.
There are more.
Of course.
Yeah.
And we want to keep up.
Good. Amazing to have you on board. Thank you so much. Yeah, TaikaBox has a quite joyful experience in collaborating with Oulu University, as well as Oulu University of Applied Sciences, and it really feels like something fruitful. So yeah, come on board. Okay. So would anyone want to reflect on what was the most joyful moment or the hardest moment this week? Are there volunteers? Okay, Matti.
I enjoy the jamming.
Okay.
And especially the times that there's no instructions and everybody's just wandering, and suddenly something starts to boil up and grow.
Okay. You have been combining. You really like your touch towards improvisations is quite unique, because you've been dedicating your life to dance, but then you chose to build your own synthesizer. So were you in the search of a perfect sound for yourself? What jams do you like most? Dance jams or music jams? Because here we have been witnessing quite a combination, because dance artists, were actually participating in creating the sound through Mimo gloves and the bracelet, and they were also creating the soundtrack. So how did you feel?
I don't find them as separate as that.
Yeah.
And they're both very, very nice and beautiful things.
Yeah, they are.
And they have their own like details that to be enjoyed. And I just in my art I try to go towards what interests me, and that's why I keep doing this stuff.
So jams interest you?
I mean, like dance and music, and maybe it's mathematics. I don't know what comes next.
Okay.
I want to do what is really interesting for
That's
me
nice
right now.
vibe, especially for Friday. Okay. So does anybody else? Yunjia.
I would like to say the most joyful thing here is really to have this community, because it's almost like a miracle, because we just met for 5 days, not longer really. We haven't met at all before, but somehow the vibe just goes. It really happens here. So we just get along very well and artistically collaborated super well. This is something, I didn't know at all what's going to happen, but when I see what has happened at the moment, it's really, really enjoyable, and I'm very appreciated.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to add that yes, the atmosphere has been very open, and there's such a low threshold to try out things. So as a dancer, to work with music and so on, it's been very enjoyable this whole time.
Yeah, I think it's really good contrast, like between that we are in this theater, in this complex, and this institute here. Outside that door, we have to put the masks on. We have codes. We have to be there like a robots, kind of a way. And when we come to this room, we take the mask off, and here's the drive, and here's the openness, and it's totally different world.
Yeah, we act like humans again.
Yeah, in Pikisali, yes.
Yeah.
After a while. And I'm gonna just right now quote Stephanie. We have been to save us energy from fixing technical issues. Stephanie is from Munich. She's based in her studio, so we're gonna quote her answers to our questions because it's not technically guaranteed that we can hear her well. So Stephanie said that the most interesting during this week was this, that with openness and care, it is possible to try different formats, like the hybrid online live attendance we had. For me, the outcome was very fulfilling. The most valuable is that Oulu Dance Hack is giving good a great gift of the possibility to connect with other like-minded people and allowing to have fun in exploration. And most challenges, accepting that this time it's only possible to attend through online format. But at the same time, this was the most impressive wow moment, because with care and openness, it was possible and very fulfilling to attend online. In general, Stephanie says, I'm impressed by all people involved about the precious curiosity and openness to explore dance and technology and noticing the wonderful potential of bonding these elements. Thank you, Stephanie. These are some really amazing kind words. Okay, does anybody else want to share? Matthew?
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually wanted to thank Stephanie for joining. I wouldn't have expected it to be something that would have been one of my more joyful moments, but while we were setting up, since I'm here as tech crew, I was standing out on the stage sort of getting the cameras in focus, and I realized that she was mimicking my movements and interacting with me, and that really made me smile and was a really enjoyable moment. So you were definitely a major part of this and very well involved, even from a distance, and that was very joyful. The technically difficult, or the challenging part for me was the fact that I didn't know I was going to be involved in this at all. So I was already starting work on Wednesday morning when I was informed that this would be my first time working as a live stream videographer. So I got to at the last minute run in and join everyone. So my most challenging moment was also my second most joyful. So overall, I think this was a great experience, and I was very happy to join you all for this.
Great. And I don't intend to this to be referred as my journalistic style, but I would really address the question to Damien. Have we failed you as guinea pigs for the Vari Weeks?
Oh, no.
So Damien comes, as I said, from France and then from University of Lapland, and he has provided us with the Vari Weeks, the interactive weeks, and you can see ones now on Tanja Råman and on Milla Toppi. And it's, if I understand correctly, the first time that the Vari Weeks are tested in the performance context.
Yes.
So how did it feel for you? Were you worried that we break them? Were you
I
worried
was-
about the outcome?
I remember at least
How do you
once.
feel? I mean,
No, I
you've
feel
done
excited.
something and you've given this to art. This is quite an amazing example of how people should act. So thank you. How do you feel?
Yeah, well, it's thanks to you actually for having
You're
me.
welcome.
No, it was very exciting. I remember first at the beginning when they were starting. I think it was the first day when they were wearing. I think I sometimes think, oh, I'm starting to be scared.
Okay, were you scared for the people or for the wigs?
Oh, yeah, more for the wig, sorry.
Yeah, those are the technicians.
I mean, it was kind of, as John said, it was a stress test. Basically, definitely a stress test, big one, because of course, we agree that okay, you can do whatever you want first, and then they try as much. And
I'm sorry, I'll just mention for the audience that the stress test is the Vari Weeks being worn by two tiny, beautiful ladies with subtle movements. And they were really gentle. They are very compassionate towards the robot dog. So, yeah, continue.
No, but yeah, I mean, it really fulfill as you ask, if it fulfill all my wishes around this, definitely, and even further, actually, I was very amazed at different stage of when they have been used, and even if, of course, we detected some technical challenge, we try to come up and find some other solution, but no, it was very interesting, and I really enjoyed to see, in particular, performer and dancer. They will explore the technology in a thing that we didn't for before. Sometime when we focus on something, oh yes, the wig will be used, of course, as a wig in the head. And one of the first performer who tried it, she tried to put it on the shoulder, on the lower back, and everywhere. And that kind of feedback, of course, is also very interesting. But of course, there was still an emphasis on the dance part. But yes, that's pretty much. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Jamie. It's amazing to have you on board. Before I ask the next question, I'm going to address one to our amazing technical crew, which is Kulttuurivoimala, Culture Power Station RU, and they do community-based cultural activities, and they kind of cover the marginal cultural sector here in Oulu. And we're very lucky to have a long-term collaboration with them. But we also had some technical issues today, so I'm going to ask them now whether we have a lot of time or we just have 5 minutes before we have to end this beautiful discussion. So can anybody say to me whether we have 5 minutes or more time?
The original timetable would be 5, but
Okay, let's see how it goes then. Okay, so stay with us and carry on dropping questions. And the next one would be, you guys were experimenting with a number of tech this week, and it included projection and 3D printers and laser cuts and Mimo gloves and interactive sound making bracelets and robot dog, and whatever you did, it really felt like you were dealing with something warm rather than militaristic or cyberpunk or cold. So was the technology involved in this dance hack warm to you in the first place, or did you have to convert that? Did you have to make it warm for the audience? How did you feel about that technology?
I could maybe say something. For me, it was something that Tanja said in the first day when we were trying out the wigs and things, and she said that, but just feel it in your body and see how it makes you move. So that kind of created the instruction and the approach to technology as extension of the emotional and like, yeah, as something maybe organic or just like growing out of our bodies and an extension of the bodily experience also.
So you didn't have the conflict there between your
maybe
humanness.
Sometimes, but that was the main approach, I feel, at least for me, because of how Tanja also introduced us to the work.
Yeah.
And I think that stayed.
Yeah, Tanja mentioned at some point in the beginning of the week that the more human you try the technology to look, the more humanness you lose yourself as an artist. So when you don't touch the technology, when you allow it to be itself and to represent itself on its own, the less humanity you lose. So that makes quite a sophisticated balance or imbalance there. So how do you guys feel? Does anybody want to comment on that? Tanja?
I find it also interesting how the technology is imposing certain things, whether it's imposing social behavior or certain emotions, certain way of moving, and which I could not predict beforehand. And I found that personally very interesting. And when, for example, we were trying, in terms of this, trying to make the technology look more human, when we were putting the second layer of hair on top of this and looking more like human, I definitely felt plastic. I was like a plastic android, and I felt really difficult to connect with other people. It's more like detecting the other people, but not touching like another person. You would touch another person. Whereas it kind of felt very different when I took that off, and I just have this one on. It somehow allows more room for creating my own story and more character, more creativity there. Whereas if there's the more human hair on, it kind of limits me. That kind of, it gives a certain perception who I am or how I am. So that was very interesting. I've never tried anything like this before, and it was, I had some thoughts, okay, we're gonna have these wigs and it's probably gonna be like this and that, and it wasn't at all like that until I started exploring.
Okay. You see?
Yeah, and sound-wise, I think that those Mimo gloves gave the more like the human feel to the sound. And we were just playing the machines like we play, but then the movement and the gloves and the sounds they produced, they were the most human part, after all, in the sound and the soundscape we created. I think so.
An important question to musicians and to artists who were dealing with visuals. How did you feel the balance or imbalance of tech kind of affecting the process? Because here, this week, we were having a lot of time when we didn't have lights because we had the wigs, and there was a certain intimacy. As we were talking earlier, there was this family vibe, the tribe vibe, and this intimacy was kind of vice versa towards the surprises and the unpredictability that is brought in by tech. So how did you feel? None of you could control everything that is happening, none of you could do the choreography fully. You were interacting with tech. Tech was interacting with you. So how hard it was for you to find the balance between letting go and controlling. And what?
I can start with that.
Okay.
I think that Kulttuurivoimala has been involved with the dance hacks for quite a while, and in talking with the other people on the crew with me, this was the first year that it didn't seem like there was a separation between us and the dance hack. I think the technology, rather than being something that was a barrier, was something that we could interact with the technology while the dancers or the musicians were interacting with the similar technology, and all talk about how it was going to show up, how it was going to work, what it was going to sound like. And there was a much better sense of community and communication and involvement than there might have been if we were just doing straight up videography. So in a lot of ways, it was the opposite of what would have been expected.
Okay.
In terms of when you add a layer of technology to things.
Okay.
I think because we had to reduce in size because of the COVID restrictions, and we were working in one space this year for the first time. The dance hack is usually in 3 studios. The whole thing has felt a lot more intimate and a lot more like a community, with every element being visible or audible at the same time.
Yeah.
So the technology is kind of like so intermingled with the movement that it's kind of grown as one organism, really, within the walls of this incredible studio that we've been in all week.
Okay, great. And now I'm going to quote Stephanie on that, because she beautifully answered to that question. For me, says Stephanie, the moment of meeting a new technology is first to learn how to communicate with it. How do I understand what it is, what it does, what is possible with it? Where are the borders between this interaction and how to get surprised? Embracing the unpredictable and being aware that it is somehow a triangle communication, performer, technology, person that programs, invented the technology. Maybe in order to make something equal, both have to adapt, the technology and the person. Especially when you try to become one, when you want to melt with the technology you use. This makes me wonder how much we might already change of not being so much human anymore, just by using now everyday technology, the mobile phone. So does anybody else want to comment on technology dictating you or controlling the technology or the balance? John?
Questions from the audience, because that would be a way that technology is controlling what we're doing right now.
No, the audience says that sounds have returned. So we can just keep talking. Okay, but I address my question to Kulttuurivoimala colleagues again. Do we have time for one more question? How do you feel, guys? What is the technical situation and just the situation? Okay, they're showing thumbs up, so we continue. And you can show me thumbs down when you don't want to do that anymore. Right, so I would ask another thing that was actually quite a concern for many people. Like, we're all dealing with the fact that we have to face the mask, the face mask, as a part of our daily routine. And as Jussi said, here in the theatre, we have to wear masks to get just a couple of meters towards the Pikisali where we are located currently. And mask is quite a depressive element of now, but you somehow managed to turn the mask into an art object. you were wearing it like a royal jewelry object during your improvisations. So how did this idea came up? And you were using the Fab Lab 3D printer, right? Or laser cutter to do those masks. So no, you were not. You were just scissors. You were using scissors. Okay, good. Okay, you were using just scissors. But anyways, how did you come up with the idea?
Well, I think the kind of the accessory parts of the costume. Of course, these other costumes are not done in the laser cutters, etc. They're just costumes we had.
Scissors.
But, yeah. But in terms of the theme of the quite quickly we started thinking, okay, we are quite this kind of closed group, having to test every day in order to come into this group. So we are joined, and we are a bit like a tribe and community, etc. So kind of the symbolism that goes with that. So there came a lot of these circles, and we did a bit of a journey with this thinking. There were some scales and things like that where the circles came as well. Anyway, and then the reflective material relating to the lights, and I don't know what all sorts of things. But and then the masks in terms of they would fit in with the rest of the things. So I had some reflective material, and we cut some things to decorate guitar and masks and things like that. But I can't remember where the ideas. It feels like the ideas have just been coming all over the places, and we've been cooking them together into what happened today.
Yeah, that's the thing about Oulu Dance Hack. Right. Okay. So most of the people here have been living abroad for quite a bunch of years. You guys either come from abroad or have stayed there for a while. So what was the vibe of Northern Finland for you? Did you feel anything special here? And what? If you felt nothing special here, it's not a feeling. I've been hearing from a bunch of artists who come here that they feel the space, they feel the silence, like the encouraging silence, not the depressive silence, the silence that allows you to feel comfortable with saying out your things. But you don't seem to have that. Do you? Okay.
I think what the space allows, because I also feel kind of a calm, soft, inviting space.
Yeah.
And I think that's also one of the main facilitators of the whole collaboration here, with like really different fields of expertise. And yeah, just like no comparison, no competition mindset or nothing like that. Just like, being impressed by everyone and impressing others and being like mutually influenced and learning.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. I would just remind that Tomek and Milla have moved to Oulu, back to Oulu after the Oulu Dance Hack 2018, but they are silent now. Yeah, okay.
We have this saying in Finland that silence means yes.
Yeah, that's Northern Finland. Silence means yes. Okay, great. So one of the last questions I'm going to ask before we have to end our discussion is that you might have experienced, apart from the corona context, the context of being in a theatre. It's really amazing that we have been managing to work here in the theatre space. And the Theatre of Oulu is quite a traditional institution, and we very much welcome it on board in this Oulu Dance Hack. But still, there have been quite a number of processes triggered by the coronavirus with traditional institutions of culture as well as marginal institutions of culture. So how do you guys feel, how are the new challenges of the corona dictated reality affected the traditional and the independent in culture? How do you feel here? Do you feel organic here? Do you feel comfortable here? What are your wishes and dreams?
Of course, this is an amazing facility to use, and for the very first time we are able to do Oulu Dance Hack in these facilities. I could not say what it is like from more this kind of institution perspective, because I never worked in a place like this within the structures. But in terms of freelancers, I feel that it is, in a corona time, it's might be easier and quicker to adapt to new normal and to find new ways of working in that kind of situations, where I think that the more conventional places, bigger places like this, it's a big ship to try to turn around and try to find new ways. So I'm kind of, the big wish for the future is to actually have more interaction between the conventional and the freelance sector. I think that's going to benefit all. Freelancers have less resources, and so when we are here, it's really amazing to be able to use this space. But also I'm hoping that this is kind of rubbing in some new ways of doing and for the bigger organizations as well.
Okay. And the last question would be addressed to Tomek. I would first say that you're very much welcome to tune in to TaikaBox website, where we'll be publishing some interviews with the artists who we were lucky to have on board this Oulu Dance Hack. And we were having a Taika talk with Tomek and Milla, and Tomek said that technology allows an artist to have like a special kind of mirror to kind of feel a totally different reflection, totally unpredictable and unexpected reflection. So, Tomek, did you have that reflection for yourself? Did you feel that other people were having that reflection, unpredictable reflection of themselves and of their emotions?
Well, you know, I spend most of my adult life looking at technology and being looked at by technology, and for me it's quite a natural context, you know, just the context that I usually have to deal with technology is completely outside artistic expression, and so I feel like, you know, anytime having contact with technology in this context of creating stuff with other people and people who are not as tech savvy, I guess, it really makes you look at it all in a little bit different eyes, in different perspective, you know. Suddenly those attributes of technology which are in value every day, like, you know, being able to control it, the precision, the repetitiveness of it, you know. Yeah, that's that word. And it somehow doesn't make any sense in the context of a performance and art, you know. And every time I look at people struggle with technology and when I look at how technology very often underperforms, you know, when you expect it to be something precise and what it's supposed to be in this context, it isn't what it's supposed to be, and nothing really works as you expect, so you kind of need to allow that technology to kind of run free also, you know, somehow allow it to be not precise, not controlled, not that well programmed, buggy and messy and sometimes really weird, but at the end it feels like in a connection with humans, this weirdness and this unpredictable, oh god, too many difficult words, the not being predictable is is it. I mean, it's actually pretty cool. You know?
We adapt to technology and technology adapt to us.
Yeah. I mean, like, you know, I was thinking about it the whole time I was listening to you, and you know, for me it's like technology and art is like kind of limes and long drinks, you know? Like, of course, there's a lot of great long drinks with limes in it, but it's not like long drinks require limes, you know? and the same goes with art and technology. Art has been great on its own without technology for so many years, and it's a fair question, why do we need it now? What does it really bring, right? And I feel like really this idea that when you put those those things, different things, humans and technology in one space, in one system, and you allow them to interact and allow that technology to get a little bit more human, a little bit less precise, and the humans a little bit more controlled by technology. Yeah, that's...
You're going to add the degree there.
Might be something new, you know?
Yeah.
Might be a new
Okay. Okay, so as you might have got the vibe that where we started talking about long drinks and limes, and it's Friday afternoon, so we have to soon be shutting up to let you go to those. But first, maybe I would ask the very last question. If you guys have any dream technology, or if you guys have any dream artistic project dealing with technology. So has this week inspired you for more research?
I have this one idea that, or it's a fantasy that many times I have the fantasy that okay, now I program this thing to do all the beautiful stuff by itself, and it never happens. Yeah, it's somehow I relate it to the fantasy of never-ending summer, that it's always the long, white, warm nights.
Okay. Okay, that's good. That's good. Let's keep in touch. All of us. Yeah. That's very political. Climate change ones. Yeah. Okay. Anybody else with a dream technology or?
Climate never changes.
Yeah, okay, you see.
No.
Another you see.
Yeah, I guess I could also say some words. Now when we have like experienced something with the dog, I think I'm a little bit more like a cat person.
Okay.
So maybe a robot cat would be nice.
Okay, Probot is our beautiful partner in this Oulu Dance Hack. Probot is a Oulu-based technology company that makes robots, and one of them, the amazing one, the Bisgi, the bad Probot dog, has been with us dancing and experimenting with art and technology all the week through, so you now have the idea about the cats in demand. Okay, so nobody else has dreams. Okay, that's Finland. It's northern Finland. Yeah, and thank you for being with us. It's been an amazing journey, and stay tuned for TaikaBox Instagram and Kulttuurivoima's Instagram and our Facebook, because we will be sharing all the materials that we have had, and it's been huge and beautiful, and we're going to be having Taika Talks with the artists and technology specialists who have been participating, and have a lovely weekend. And everybody wishes you the same.
Thank you, everybody.